Hi there, welcome to another WordPress video where we look at different WordPress concepts. In this video, we're going to look at themes, content, users, and plugins. So as you would have imagined, there's a lot to cover, so let's get right in. My name is Clyde D'Souza. I'm a software developer by profession, and in the past few years, I've developed quite a few WordPress sites. If you're wondering what WordPress is, it is basically a CMS platform, a content management platform which allows you to edit the contents of your site and even to add functionality on the go while your site is live and instantly make your changes available to the regular public. Now, before we proceed further, I must inform you that this video we talk about WordPress.org, which is not the same as WordPress.com. So WordPress.com is a popular blogging site which allows you to add content just like any other blogging platform would, but you know it's not the same. It does run the underlying WordPress engine, but WordPress.org, the one that we're looking at today, is more of you install WordPress on your own server or on your own service. The first thing that we'll be looking at today is themes. And themes, as you would imagine, is how the website looks like. So the UI, the design, and WordPress comes with a bunch of themes. So there are a few themes already pre-installed. But if you search for themes on the WordPress marketplace, you'll find a bunch of different themes that's available to use, and some of them are paid, some of them are free. But you know, you can try it out, get a quick preview, see which one really suits your needs, and then just apply the theme and you know, quickly just install and apply, and within no time, you know, your website will look like that theme. So the theme, it decides the design of the website and the structure of the website. So it comes with a preset configuration that, of course, when you preview a theme, you can have a look and you'll sort of get an idea of what this theme might look like eventually. After that, we will be taking a look at content. Now, in terms of content, you have two types of content. You have pages and then you have posts. Now, pages are more like well, I wouldn't say completely static, but it's more permanent, right? So you have your about us page, your contact us page, and pages like that, which might appear on the menu of your website, and they would be the main navigatable pages. Post, on the other hand, is designed for blogs, for blog articles, for content like that, which you would want to add new posts frequently. You would want to you would want to keep the number of posts and the content refreshed as frequent as possible. The third concept that we'll be looking at is users. So we get one account that we, you know, when we're installing, you'll have one account which is probably the global admin sort of super user account. Along with that, you can add more users, and there are different roles for each user. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at all the different roles and what each of the roles can do, and then we will create new users, and then we will see what that new user can do to the website. And finally, we will try and add some plugins. Plugins, if you don't know what that is individual pieces of functionality that's available in WordPress. Again, there's a huge marketplace. You can search for almost anything that you want to do, right from contact forms to newsletters to Twitter feeds, and to so many other things, right? So you just name what you want to do, and you most likely than not, you will definitely find a functionality already available, and all you need to do is just configure a few things, and you have that individual piece of functionality added to your website. Now, with plugins, you can add and remove the plugin at any time, and you don't have to rebuild the site, you don't have to redeploy any code, and that is, I think, very powerful to have. So with that, let's dive in, and as we had a look, let's have a look at themes. So the demo site that I'm using right now is this one. As you would have imagined, it is a very basic looking site. In another video, I have covered how to set up or how to install WordPress, and that in that video, what we did was we installed this particular site and we edited a little bit of content. So we'll just carry on using the same WordPress site, and to do that and really install themes, what we'll have to do is we'll have to log in to the site. This should take us to the login page, and I'll use my password. Don't worry about the password, it's just temporary. So now that we've logged into the WordPress site, this is what it looks like, and the first thing that we need to do is change the appearance of our website, and to do that we go to themes. As you can see, there's one theme that's active at the moment, which is called 2019, and we have different other themes available as well. So you have 2019, then you have 2020. So let's have a look at 2020 and see what this looks like. So if you click on the live preview button, so it seems like every year they are sort of adding a new theme. That's the desktop. So this is what it looks like. So obviously it's quite different to our original one. You have pages over here. This is a blog post which has appeared at the very start. So what we can do is we can, oops, let me just try and bring this menu back. What we can do is we can have a look at the themes marketplace, see if there's any other theme that is relatively straightforward to configure, and something that looks visually good as well. But otherwise, we already have this theme installed. We just have to activate it to make sure that our website now looks like this. So let's browse no new themes. So this site that we want is just a demo site, right? So we'll just try and keep it as simple as possible. As you can see, there's heaps and heaps of themes that's available. It just depends on what you're looking for. So feel free to use some of these tags to have a look. As you can see, this number is sort of getting updated. Heaps and heaps of sites, heaps and heaps. Let's have a look at this one and see what does it look like. Let me try and collapse this. So what you would notice is that the theme that is in the picture here might not look like what you can actually see here, and that's because it has to be configured again, and there's a lot of things that needs to be configured. Eventually it will end up looking like this, like the picture here, or any other offsite demo links if there is. I think there's one here, but otherwise the demo that we see here is usually does not really straight away look like the picture that we have. So we'll take our chances and we will try and install this, just to go through the entire process. And of course, if it does not get configured as we want, then we can always revert back to the 2020 theme. Alright, it's installed. Now let's activate it. There you go. So it's activated, and if I visit the site, it should look different, which does. So it says there's this theme that's applied, which is good. Of course, a lot of work to be done here. Now if you click on customize, now that we have installed a theme, we should have things to customize. I'll just put myself on the right. Another thing to note is this pro version here. So this is not just for this theme. In the past I have dealt with various other themes where not everything is accessible in the free version. So usually theme providers provide two variations of a theme. One is the free version, which usually has limited access or limited features, and then there's a pro version or a paid version, which you'll be able to unlock different other features. So from here it looks like there's a pro version available, which means that there'll be some restrictions in the free version. So that's something to keep in mind when you're searching for themes. Is usually read the documentation, check if they have these two different types of themes and different paying options, and see if the free theme actually matches what you want to do. So there are a few themes under the free section that do match, that you might be satisfied with whatever they provide. So let's have a look. What do we have here? You have header, we have top bar. What do you have in the top bar? Okay, it's just a gray content here. Looks like you can edit something. Is it test? Yep. So this is just a little text if you want to sort of display your, I don't know, like phone number or address. If it's like an e-commerce site, then that's something that you could potentially do. Can change the colors, which is good. We can have a background image as well, but I wonder if that'll just be a background image on top and then this will just statically apply below that. So let's disable this for now. We'll come back to that if we need to. You have header, main area. Yeah, so this is the background image that we were looking for. I don't think there will be another one. Cool. So this is background image here. Let's just head over to unsplash.com and download a background image. Let's just download this one and we'll select a file, upload to the media library, which is good, and from our computer we'll upload the file, and I'll have to click on select once it's uploaded. So quick thing while this has been uploaded is that I have not actually seen this theme before, and so you might this video might just be longer because I just have to explore the theme while this video has been recorded, but generally hopefully I intend to give you the idea of what really needs to be done, and of course every theme has different configurations, so it is not exactly the step-by-step that I'm doing it in this video. Depending on what the theme allows you to customize, the steps might be a bit different. Alright, so let me select this, and so it's not appeared yet, which is fine. Let's just change this a bit, and we will let's click on publish and see if it has made any difference. Demo VPG. Okay, so the image has not appeared yet. I'm pretty sure that there's something that's missing over here that needs to be added. Not quite sure what, but of course need to sort of spend some time on this. There might be something missing. I wonder if this makes any difference. Okay, so this made a difference. So the header media made a difference, but the oops, where were we? Weren't we here already? But the header main area, so this image for some reason did not make a difference. If I refresh the page now, yep, so I'm not quite sure what that is. Probably have to dig around a bit, and if not, if we can't find the answers, we might have to ask the theme owner, what do they mean by that? What do they mean by header main area, and why hasn't it showed up? Why hasn't this image showed up? So that remains a mystery. Anyway, what else do we have? You have button text. What does that say? So that is, let's say Google. Where does it show? Where's the button? HTTPS. Yeah, google.com. Is it this button? Let's publish it and see what happens. So it's not this button, this is just the search. This is just the search one here. I'm guessing it must be, oops, what did I do? I'm guessing this must be by header. I think they might be meaning this thing here. Is it a button that appears over here? But then this has its own image, so this should be here. So anyway, let's go back and visit other sections of this page. Next up we have the menu, which is the primary menu here. Keep menu items in one line. Alright, so that wouldn't make a difference because we just have one anyway. And what is this one here? Oh yeah, so it's the underlined border, probably this one here. Cool, let's just keep that in that way. Next up we have the general tab, where you have container style. So if I change this, what does it happen? What does happen? Okay, so that is the width of the contents. How, yeah, so this is the width of the contents. So either this is full width or this is probably more narrower. That's fine. We don't want to make any changes to that. Post, page or blog. General. Page title. Go. So that didn't really make any difference, which is fine. It's probably the individual post that might need to be looked at. So that's, wonder if this changes anything. Yeah, this changes things. So this has moved the post there. That's fine. We don't want that. Single post might also be the same thing, really. So if we move this on top, what happens? Okay, so this hasn't made any difference, which is fine. I think we really require more content to be testing these features out. That's fine. Oops, keep doing that. Where is the back button? Next up we we really want to, let's start with the home page settings, because I'm guessing that that is something that we need to configure. So instead of the latest post, we can just display a static page, which let's just pick the sample page for now. And as you can see, the home page looks a lot better now. So you don't have to show up the post. We can have the sample page here, which is also the one here highlighted. We can always rename this to home, so there's no issues with that. And don't have to worry about this. So let's publish these changes here. Usually a home page might, you might want to contain more information here, so that would make sense. Additional CSS is if you want to add more CSS to customize the colors. Widgets sidebar right, which is these sections here. I do not want the comments to show up. I don't want archives is fine. Probably meta information is not required, so I'll remove that. And I'll leave the search bar there. I can add a widget. We can have a look at this later. Footer. What do we have here? So you have a few widgets here. We can have HTML. We can have a few other things as well if we need to, but that's fine. And there's multiple footers here, which is just adding widgets really. So you can play around with that. Your menu is, there's no menu available at the moment, which we can configure. So let's create a new menu. Let's say website menu, menu location primary, and what has changed? Oh, there you go. The button for Google has showed up for some reason. And if we click on, so the sample page has been added because I think we selected this one. Oh no, it just added it automatically, so that's good. But of course you can add new pages as well. You can add a post, you can add custom links, you can add pages, you can reorder it so that it looks a bit better, and of course you can add a bunch of other things as well. So that's good. And so you have your page, and then you have a link to the blog post, and then there's this button that we configured from the menu itself. This is the search icon. For some reason it's just not showing up as you would expect. So we'll click on back and back. Background image, didn't we already add the image? So what background is this now? I think we should just install a different image so that we can tell the difference. We will select this one here and upload a new file to the media library. Scroll down to the new image. Once it uploads it, there you go, choose image. So I published the changes, but the image is not really showed up, so I'm not sure where this background image goes either. Clicking on an individual post also doesn't seem to make any difference. So I'm guessing that there's just some random image goes up somewhere. Need to have a look, need to spend more time, but for the sake of this video we'll just go ahead. So site identity is this text here. We'll just say we'll just say a super simple demo website. Site icon, you can change it if you wanted to, which will change I think this icon here. So instead of WordPress, you'll have your own icon, but for now we'll just leave it. Oh, there's logo in here as well, so you can add logos, and that might show up in this page. So that's something that you can customize, which is all pretty good. As you can see, the final output is a very decent looking site, and we didn't actually have to, design this website by ourselves. We just installed a particular theme and we customized it, and things just appeared. Things just got put, it just fell into place, and we now have this nice little site that we have built. So that is pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of, I think, different other options under appearance, which you can customize, but I think all of these take you to the same customize screen. So that's a quick look into themes. Now we'll take a look at content. So we added some content, but now let's just add a bunch of different other things, and we'll populate our website with some dummy content. So to do that, we have two options here: pages and posts. As we said, as we looked at before, pages is something that you would probably want to have more static looking pages on your site, as the maybe main menu or something, and so that's something that you would look at. So let's call this page about, and for the content, let's use a lorem ipsum generator. Let's copy that, put it in the about section, and we have some content. We have the option to schedule this page to be published at a future date, but let's just keep it as immediate public to publish it immediately. Featured image, we can set it to a different image, so let's try that out. And there's few page attributes. So in this case, we have a default template, but you can use the page builder to sort of visually design what your page would look like. Save it as a draft. And before we publish, let's take a look at a few other options here. So as you can see, there's an option to do a few things. You can change the alignment. You can reorganize paragraphs, change it to a different style, and of course make the usual bold, italics, and other few things. So give that a try and see how it looks like. I can see that there's some default and large options available here. This paragraph is too big for the large, so let's just keep it at the default. And then from the plus icon here, you can add a few other blocks. You have a few embeds. You can embed a tweet. So a bunch of different things. I think really useful things here. You have buttons. A lot of things that you can actually add. So without spending too much time on this, let's immediately publish the page. And first, let's see if it gets added to the menu, which it does, so that's good. You might want to reorganize it though. So clicking on about takes us to this page here with the image just below the title of this. So in terms of the design, you might want this image to really show up here, but that's just some sort of theme customization that you need to look at. and see if it is even possible, and if it is possible, then customize a few things, tweak a few things, and try and get it working. So if we go back to pages, so that's pages. Now in terms of the post, you have a hello world post. Let's add a new one. So you have add new, and so we'll call this an important update, and use our generator to just copy in some text here. In terms of the settings, we have the option we have the same options to publish it immediately or not. We have the options to change the visibility of the page all out of the box. We have the option to add if an image to be its filtered image, featured image, and then we also have categories. Now categories is something that's really useful. So this, let's say if blog posts that would exist on your website can be categorized into different streams of what your website does, then this is a really good way to to mark something as to a particular category, and then maybe even add that link to that category over here. So it'll just roll up all the blog posts under that category. So in this case, let me just call it updates, add a new category, and it is assigned it, and then let's publish it immediately. So that's good. We see the post itself looks something like that, which is nice. Now let's quickly reorganize our menu here. So if you go to appearance, menus, we see that there's a sample page, about, and hello world. So let's say we don't want the hello world, or actually let's put it under this sample page. That's not too bad. In terms of categories, let's add this one to the menu, updates, and might have to remove it and out from under sample, so you can probably use that. So you have this out from and about. Yeah, there you go. That has saved us a lot of effort. Let's click on save, and then let's have a quick look at the screen. So now our website has more structure to it. You have about, you have updates, which is really the categories, and under the categories, whatever blog post appear under updates, under the category updates will show up here. Of course, there's just a quick paragraph, but you can have this read more button here, which takes you to the actual page. And then sample page, you have hello world, which was already added before. So that is good. So we have some content there, and we also had a look at pages versus post, of course very briefly, but we get the idea of how these individual pages appear on the site. Next up, we are going to look at users. Now users, we can add new users. So let's say if this is a very popular site, or if it's on the verge of getting to be a very popular site, you might want to delegate this some functionality to different other users. So you'd want to add a new user. Now let's add a person. What do we name this person? Let's name this new user. I know it's not very creative, but hey, new user. And the new user will have a default password, which you can let the person know. So let's make a note of it here, so that we can log back in. And well, I've not configured an email server, so this won't work. So I'm just unchecking this box. but this is another way the new user can get notified about the account. And now finally we have the roles that we can select. Now there's a few other roles: subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator, in the same order. So subscriber has the lowest level of access, administrator has the highest level of access. Now on this page here, I will also link this page in the description of this video. It really talks about the summary of the roles. So super admin, which is not available here at the moment, it is somebody who has full administrative access, but not only across one site but across multiple sites. And so in WordPress you can have multiple sites on the same instance, and that's what a super admin would have access to. Administrator has all the administrative access but within a single site. An editor can publish and manage posts, including their own but also others. Author can publish and manage their own post, so that is the difference here. It's their own versus everybody else's. The difference between author and contributor is, of course, it's their own but cannot publish them. So they can add content but they cannot publish it, they cannot make it live. And finally we have subscriber, who can only manage their own profile. That's all. So they can't add more content to it. So in this case, we are what we are wanting to do is just create an editor. Let's add an editor. Cool. So we have an editor at the moment. And now if I log out from my site and then log back in as the editor, instantly you will see on the dashboard on this screen, the editor has access to a lot of less amount of things, right? So there's not a whole bunch of features that's available. You can't change the themes, you can't do all of those things. All you can do is manage posts and pages, which is really the content side of things, right? So you can update a few things here, and you can add media, you can add content to the media library, which is great. You can manage your own profile. Wow, this is taking a long time, so let's go back. So you can manage your own profile, and there's a few tools that you have access to, which is empty for some reason, so that's fine. But look, as an editor, there's only a limited amount of things that you can do, and most of them really involves around content. And as an editor, you might want to publish review articles posted by authors and contributors, and you might want to publish it on their behalf. So that is users and roles. Next up we have plugins. Now plugins are those individual pieces of functionality that we can add to our page, and let's have a look at an example. So let's log back in, but this time let's log in as the administrator and not as the editor. Head over to plugins. You can see there's a few default plugins that have been installed, which if you don't require, you can remove it, and you can search for plugins that have been installed, but in this case let's add a new one. Now what I was thinking of doing is just adding a Twitter sort of feed, and just to display it on our site. You might want to display the feed from your company's Twitter page, so maybe this might be useful. So one of the things that we can look at is custom Twitter. So you click on install now, and it will install it and will activate it. So just like themes, you install something, but you also have the option to not activate it for a while, or just deactivate it if you don't want to use it anymore. And then once you activate it, then it shows up over here. So as in when you add more plugins, it will add itself to the menu, and then each plugin will have a different configuration screen. So in this case, it looks a lot different than a MailChimp plugin, for example. So just something to note. Now we have the option to, include a feed. Now I wonder if I do have to provide access to my Twitter account, but let's just try without that first. So you have timeline. To customize, we will just use the default one for now and leave the rest as it is. Again, this is still more additional things that you can style, like the Twitter actions, the colors, size of the box, and whatnot. Now the way you add certain elements from the plugin is using these short codes, something called short codes. Now this will vary from plugin to plugin. No two plugins might look the same, but this one, for example, is you have this short code that you can literally post it into any page, and depending on that that's where it will show up. So in this case, let's just quickly read through this table here. The user account name, Twitter handle, this generate user timeline. So let's just copy this example and go into our page, the about page that we were editing, and so usually we just have to paste it at the bottom, but let's just see if there's any widget available, which it is. That's good. So you paste it in there, and let us update the page, which will publish the page, and now we can view the page. Okay, so then there you go. So it does require the access token, and that's why it was unable to load the tweets. So that's fine. What I'll do is I will try and get this fixed. Now for that, I would have to go back to my WordPress dashboard, go back to Twitter feeds, and add this configuration here. Now for the sake of this video, what I'll do is I will pause the video. I will do this in the background, configure this so that you don't really have to see all the Twitter information that I enter. But hey, look, after that we'll try and refresh the page and see that it works. Cool. So what I've done is I have, on the first tab here, I have clicked on the button to logged in via my Twitter account, and signed in and add the required keys, and then what we've done is we've just gone ahead and refreshed the page, and as you can see, this Twitter timeline is now populated. So in the short code, it was mentioned, we mentioned GoPro has the Twitter account, and this widget is really basically just pulling up the information. So as you can see, it sort of blends in with the content. You can really add it even on top if you would want to, but you get the point. So you didn't have to really code functionality to really pull this information up. You can use widgets, you can use these plugins that are readily available in the marketplace. Within a few clicks, you can install this plugin, you can add the shortcode and get the functionality on any of the pages that you wish to. So it's very nice, quick and easy way of getting things done. So hopefully this video has covered a lot of content, and hopefully this has been useful. I appreciate that there were some places where things might have been a bit slow, but look, this is sort of an exploration process as well. Depending on what themes and what plugins you use, you might find yourself in an unusual situation, in a situation that you have not seen before, and you just need to take the time to pause and reflect on what they're asking, and then try and configure, spend some time, invest some time in configuring your site, and then you should be able to customize your site to your heart's content. But look, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the comment section below, and I will get to answering as many questions as I can. Like with any other video, please consider subscribing to this channel so that your news feed, your YouTube feed will show up more of my videos when I post a new video. And if you did find this video insightful and if you learned something new today, please consider giving this a thumbs up, and that will tell me that you have actually liked this video. Please do also consider sharing this video with your friends and family in your network, and so that they might learn something new, they might get something out of this video as well. So until the next time, you take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.